Former candidate for governor and anti-government activist Ammon Bundy has lost his latest attempt to get help from, well, the government. The federal government, to be specific. Bundy's appeal for a federal court to take up the St. Luke's lawsuit against him instead of handling it in Ada County was denied last Friday. Bundy wanted the case to go federal because, one, the lawsuit involves people who no longer live in Idaho, his friend and co-defendant Diego Rodriguez. Two, it exceeds $75,000, like 100 times that amount, since St. Luke's is asking for punitive damages of $7.5 million. And at the center of the lawsuit is a First Amendment issue, he says. Well, Judge David Nye refused all those claims and sided with St. Luke's to dismiss the request, sending it back to district court. Judge Nye's response: federal court can only take over if it's a question about federal law or if everyone asking for it to be moved lives outside the state. Bundy does not, and Rodriguez's Freedom Man Political Action Committee is registered in Idaho. Lawsuit is based on a violation of state laws, not federal, so the court has no jurisdiction. And Bundy waited to file that request to transfer to federal court after the judgment against him, nearly a year after the lawsuit was first filed and way beyond the 30-day deadline after that filing. Judge Nye also added in court costs and any other relief to the running tab Bundy already faces with this lawsuit, which, as we know, has reached a level to which Bundy is already unable to pay. He says St. Luke's can have all he has, which really isn't much since he already sold his Emmett home to pay off another court ruling against him. Bundy now has 21 days to respond to this latest setback, which he told us today, well, the same as he told us 2 weeks ago when we spoke with him. A day after he skipped out on his deposition hearing, he does plan to respond. If, for example, the federal judge rules against you in this case, then will you participate and turn yourself in on the civil warrant?
No, I'll appeal to the Ninth Circuit.
So you don't want to keep racking up legal fees, but you will keep taking it to the higher courts.
Well, I am at least going to, if I'm being forced to participate, which I am, right? I'm being forced. I'm at least going to try to get it into a court that is not going to be corrupt and biased against me, and a court that I'm much more familiar with.
That part is at least true. Federal court is a place where Bundy may feel more comfortable. Back in 2016, he was acquitted in a U.S. District Court in Oregon after his takeover of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge. A year later, he was on the winning side of a mistrial after helping his dad in an armed standoff with federal agents in Nevada. And much like he has done with Judge Norton in Ada County, Bundy claims the federal judge made several errors in this latest judgment, and he will appeal those to the Ninth Circuit Court. Meanwhile, there are hearings scheduled for tomorrow in Ada County for both Bundy and Diego Rodriguez, the other party to this lawsuit. Will either of them show up? Well, neither has yet. And in fact, when he was asked by a St. Luke's attorney if he would let him know in writing if he planned to attend, to avoid having to pay a court reporter to show up for no reason, well, Rodriguez wrote an 8-paragraph email response, which began with, "Dear Dirty Eric, he, him, his, Stidham." And of course, then the first line is, "You're a, well, homosexual slur," followed by, quote, "I'm inclined to believe you're also a pedophile." So you can see the tone that email took, which went on to call Stidham corrupt and a criminal and so on and so forth. He wrapped up the email with a flourish, though, concerning his place of residence, quote, "I don't understand why you're so concerned about where I live. After all, you know better than anybody where I live since I live rent-free in your head," end quote. That's from Diego Rodriguez. So safe to say, Diego won't be attending tomorrow, and neither will Ammon. He told me today he's out of the country with his family, which of course means Gems County Sheriff Donnie Wonder won't be serving that arrest warrant anytime soon either.